Okay, so good day to everyone. So for this topic, we will discuss input and output device. During discussion, we'll differentiate various types of keyboards, characteristics of pointing devices, including the different pointing devices, uses of touchscreen, various type of pen inputs like stylus, digital pen, and graphic tablet. We'll also describe the various uses of motion input, voice input, and video input. Also, we will discuss scanners and reading devices, including the characteristics of various displays and types of printers. We would also identify the purpose and features of speaker, headphones, earbuds, data projectors, interactive whiteboards, and force feedback gain controllers and tactile output. Also, we would identify various assistive technology input and output methods. So what is an input? So an input is any data or instruction entered onto the memory of a computer. So this input can be a command, a program, or uh, a user interaction input. So we can create inputs using a mouse, a keyboard, a camera, a reader, or a scanner. So commonly used input methods include, as I told you, we have the keyboard, the pointing devices, touch screens, pen input, motion input, voice input, video input, and scanners and readers. So we have a keyboard. Keyboard is an input device that contains keys. These keys are used to enter data and instruction into a computer or mobile device. So a keyboard has function keys, numeric keypad, arrow key or the navigational key. We also have the window key and the typing area or the so-called letter keys. These are used to input letters. So the function keys can also serve as media controls. And at the same time, it gives a command or a shortcut command for us to execute. Then we also have the window key. So it works specifically for Windows or Mac OS. So keyboards, most desktop computers have function keys, toggle keys, directional keys or navigational keys, media control buttons, and internet control buttons. But other keyboards do not have these functions. The most common is the function key, the directional key, and the typing area. So there are various types of keyboards. So we also have the built-in laptop keyboard or the keyboard of a laptop. We also have on-screen keyboard and click-on tablet keyboard. Aside from that one, we also have keyboard used in cell phones. So usually, when we are typing in our computer, it takes a high risk for our to have an injury in our wrist or on our fingers. To to reduce the chance of repetitive strains injuries in our wrists or in our fingers, so the ergonomic keyboard was developed. So the only difference of ergonomic keyboard and standard keyboard is the palm rest. So the palm rest is included this part. So palm rest or wrist rest. So ergonomics incorporates comfort, efficiency, and safety into a design of the workplace. So pointing devices compose of a pointer. All pointing devices compose of a pointer. And what is a pointer? It's a small symbol on the screen whose location and shape changes as the user moves a pointing device. So the shape changes depending also on the command that you will execute. So if you stop a certain operation, then nagbabago po yung symbol ng on-screen pointer po natin. Minsan nagiging yung round na umiikot-ikot, nagiging cross, nagiging pointer, nagiging hand, depending on the use or the location of the pointer. So, an example of a pointing device is a mouse. This is the most common example of a pointing device. So, it fits under the palm of our hand. So, we have different types of mouse, which is optical mouse, laser mouse, and touch mouse. So, for laser mouse, it uses laser beam to detect movement. Then, a common mouse composed of a right button, a left button, a wheel button, and a thumb buttons. So, usually, thumb buttons are for media controls, volume up and volume down. So, we also have the wheel button. This is to adjust the sensitivity of our pointing device. So, minsan meron yung mabilis, minsan meron yung mabagal, lalo na pag naglalaro tayo sa computer games. So, for you to adjust the sensitivity of your mouse, then you will use the wheel button. And aside from that one, it can also use for navigation. Navigation, so arrow up and arrow down po natin. Parang arrow up or arrow down. Scroll up and scroll down. So there are different types of pointing devices such as touchpad, pointing stick, and a trackball. So a touchpad is a small flat rectangular pointing device that is sensitive to pressure and motion. Usually, touchpad is seen in our laptops. Then we also have a pointing stick. It's a pressure-sensitive pointing device shaped like a pencil eraser that is positioned between keys on a mobile computer keyboard. Then we also have a trackball, which is a stationary pointing device with a ball on its top or side. To control the movement of our pointer, we will use the ball on top or on its side. Then we also have the touchscreen. A touchscreen is a touch-sensitive display. So, there is some categories of touchscreen na tinatawag nilang multi-touchscreen. So, ang commonly referred to as touchscreen po kasi, this is a single interactive device. Kumbaga, parang one at a time ang pag-process niya. That was a touchscreen long ago. Then, na-develop yung multi-touchscreen po natin or multi-sensitive touchscreen po natin, which uses more than 2 fingers, 3 fingers. So, depending on the fingers that you will use or pen that you will use. Let's say for example, pag gumamit ka ng isang daliri lang, that is another command. Pag gumamit ka ng dalawang daliri, that is another command. Pag mas maraming daliri, that is another command. So those are multi-touchscreen. Then we also have the pen input. So pen input needs to touch the flat surface to write, draw, or make selections. So these are usually pointing devices used for tablets or touchscreens. Then we also have a graphic tablet, also called a digitizer. It's an electronic plastic board that detects and converts movements of style or digital pen into signals that's sent to the computer. Usually, graphic tablets are used by animators to create animations. So, if you have seen an anime, yung mga ginagamit po nilang pag-drawing or manga, yung mga manga po natin, yan po ang ginagamit po na graphics tablet. Then we also have motion input. So, a motion input or referred to as gesture recognition can guide users on screen elements using these devices. So kumbaga, we can control a certain character in our screen using these devices. So very example is this one. So screen shows the position and movements of the avatar, and the player moves controller to simulate a golf swing using motion inputs, uh, uh, which translate motion of golf swing to move the golf ball on the screen. So we also have the voice input. So voice input is the process of entering input by speaking into a microphone. So we also have the voice recognition or so-called speech recognition. It's a capability of our computer or mobile devices to distinguish spoken words. Then we also have audio input. Audio input is a process of entering any sound into the computer such as speech, music, and sound effects. Usually, these audio input devices are used to create interesting compilations of sounds. So, these are used to compose, mix, and edit musics and sound. Then we have the video input. Video input is the process of capturing full motion image and storing them on a computer or mobile device storage medium. So we have a digital video camera that transfers video to a computer or mobile devices. Usually, in transferring video from our digital video camera to our computer, we use USB connectors or the FireWire connector. Then we also have a webcam. So it's a type of digital video camera that enables user to capture video and still images. So it also send email messages with video attachments and live images to instant messages. It also broadcasts live images over the internet and conduct video conferences or make video calls. Okay. So a video conference is a meeting between two or more geographically separated people. Usually, this is now the normal that we are facing. So, video conferencing using Google Meet, Zoom, Discord, um, Microsoft, ano, is that Microsoft Classroom, I think. So, those are the applications now that we are using for video conference. Scanners and reading devices. So a scanner is a light sensing input device that reads printed text and graphics and then translate the result into a form that the computer can process. So an example of scanner is flatbed scanner. So it works exactly the same way as a photocopying machine, except that it creates a copy of a document in the memory instead of a paper or a hard copy. So how a scanner or a flatbed scanner works? So you place the document to be scanned face down on a glass window. Then using the buttons of scanner, then start the scanning. Then the scanner converts the document content to digital information, which is transmitted through the cable or the computer's memory and saved on the computer hard disk or SSD. Then once in the computer, user can display the image, print it, send it in an email message, include in a document, or place in a web page. So usually, printers now, there are printers which has the scanning capability. So yun po yung mga ginagamit na ngayon. So we also have an optical reader. So an optical reader is a device that uses light source to read character, marks, and codes, then convert them into a digital data that a computer can process. So we have the optical character recognition and optical mark recognition. So usually, an optical mark recognition is this machine are used for checking test papers using yung nag-shade ng mga circles. So yung mga ginagamit doon na pag-check sa mga test papers na yon is optical mark recognition. So it detects a shape of a circle or a pattern to a paper or a document. Then optical character recognition, this is used by bank to check the bottom of a check. Ito po yung ginagamit nila to check certain yung mga cheque po natin. Then we have a barcode reader. So or commonly referred to as barcode scanners. These are used to read barcodes. So these barcodes are the stripes placed in a product or a merchandise. Usually, this product represents numbers or information. Then we also have a QR code which stores information in both a vertical and horizontal direction. Yung mga QR code natin ngayon, iba na yung mga pattern. So we also have the RFID or the radio frequency identification. So it uses radio signals to communicate with a tag placed in or attached to an object. So a device that is used to read RFID is an RFID reader. So usually an RFID is used for tracking times of runners in a marathon. So it tracks the location of people and other items. So checking lift tickets or skiers and managing inventory. It also used to gauge temperature and pressure of tires on a vehicle. So it also used for checking out library books and providing access to rooms or buildings. So a very common example of this one is the identification card of Louisian. So, yung identification card po na yon, there is a store information in that card. So, the information of the ID user. So, we also have the magnetic stripe readers. Usually, this magnetic stripe readers po natin is used to read magnetic stripe on credit cards, entertainment cards, bank cards, identification cards, and other similar cards. So we also have the MICR or magnetic ink character recognition. So an MICR converts MICR character into a form that a computer can process. So as you can see in here, we have a certain character in here na ginagamit po for checking of checks. So ito po yung mga binabasa niya, these characters below the checks. So we also have a data collection device which obtains data directly at the location where transaction or event takes place. So what is an output? An output is a data that has been processed into a useful form, or basically referred to, these are already information, processed information. So output can be seen on screen, speakers, printed or hard copy or soft copy. So an output can be displayed into a hard copy or a soft copy. So a device or an output device that displays hard copy is a printer and a soft copy is a display. So a display visually conveys text, graphics, and video information. So a monitor is very common. So there are different types of monitor. We have the CRT or the cathode ray tube and the LED display or LED. So the quality of display depends primarily on its resolution and response times, including brightness. So what is a resolution? These are dot, dot, or combination of dots to create a picture. So the higher the resolution of a displaying device, then the better the view it makes. So response time or the so-called refresh rate. So gaano kabilis ang pag-refresh ng display po. And then the brightness, then the contrast ratio. Take note, take note that in measuring the size of the display, it must be from corner to corner diagonally. Diagonally. So from the upper corner to the uh, lower corner po natin. That is diagonally. That is how we measure the length of a display. So to display a highest quality image, the monitor should be plugged into a DVI port, an HDMI port, or a display port. So home users sometimes use the DTV or the digital television. And then we also have the HDTV, the most advanced form of digital television. Okay, so continuing with printers. So printers produce text and graphics on a physical medium. So usually, before purchasing a printer, you need to ask these different questions, including the budget, the speed, the characteristic, the properties of the printer you will use. Usually, one of the features that you must consider in purchasing a printer is the speed of the printer. The speed of the printer is measured in pages printed per minute. So there are different types of non-impact printers. So non-impact printer forms characters and graphics on a piece of paper without actually contacting the paper. So example of non-impact printer is inkjet printers, photo printers, laser printers, thermal printers, mobile printers, and platters. So an inkjet printer forms characters and graphics by spraying tiny drops of liquid ink onto a piece of paper. So it can be color or a black and white printed copy. So as I told you, speed is measured by number of pages per minute. So that is ppm or pages per minute. So a photo printer produces laboratory or lab quality pictures. So these are high quality printers. So there are also printers that allows you to print photos directly from a digital camera or from a memory card. So these are example of printers. So we also have the laser printer. Laser printer has the capability or can print faster than that of other printer. So it can be black and white or colored. So we also have the all-in-one printer or the commonly known as multifunction printer. It has the capability of scanning, copying, printing, and at the same time there are cases that it can be used for faxes. So we also have a thermal printer. So it generates image or characters by pushing electrically heated pins against the heat-sensitive paper. So usually, these thermal printers are used to print um, receipts. So we have an example that is dye sublimation printer. We also have a mobile printer. It's a small and lightweight battery powered printer that allows a mobile user to print from a mobile device. Then we also have a label printer, small printer that prints on an adhesive type material that can be placed on variety of items. Also, we also have the platters that is used to produce high quality drawings. Usually, platters are used to print floor plans or sketches of buildings. So we also have the impact printers. Impact printers form characters and graphics on a piece of paper by striking a mechanism against an ink ribbon that physically contact the paper. So mostly impact printers are noisy. So we also have other output devices. So other output devices include speakers and game consoles, including uh, uh, mga tweakers, or yung mga maliliit na kuwan ng speakers. So we also have headphones and earbuds. The difference between headphones and earbuds is headphones is used to cover the outside of the ear, while earbuds is used inside the ear canal. So we also have the data projector. So it's a device that takes the text and image displaying on a computer or mobile device screen and projects them on a larger screen. So they are commonly known as projector. So we also have an interactive whiteboard. It's a touch-sensitive device resembling a dry erase board that displays the image on a connected computer screen. So other output devices, even joystick, wheels, gamepads, and motion sensing game controllers can be considered as an output because they include force feedback. So parang kumbaga, the same with game controllers. If you are using game controllers, yung parang sa sasakyan, so the wheel ay bang tawag doon? So nagre-respond siya. So it can be considered as an output device or a combination of input and output device. So we also have the assistive technology. So assistive technology assists the so-called PWDs or person with disabilities. So we also have uh, head-mounted pointer and the braille printer. So this aids persons with disabilities to use computer. So short, we have variety of options for input and output and several assistive technology options for input and output. And that's all. Thank you.